Now you're a realtor, what are the marketing techniques for real estate agents that are really making an impact on your business? Everybody has different ideas and different strategies and different thoughts about what works and what doesn't work. At Workman, we focus on what's proven. And what's proven is that if you measure everything, if you track the right things, we can figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. Today I'm going to talk about specific marketing strategies that are proven in today's market to get buyers and sellers unstuck and off the sideline and re-engaged in buying and selling real estate. The way that we communicate, the way that we market, the way that we message to our community absolutely sets us apart from everybody else. And if you follow the 12-week campaign that I'm going to give you at the end, you can download it right here at the very end of this video. As you follow that 12-week campaign and you understand how to use shift modules to use emotional intelligence to get people unstuck, you will be well on your way to marketing success. And marketing success to me means you just sell more houses. So, you want to sell more houses? Let's up your game from a marketing perspective. All right, so the first thing you have to understand is that marketing and sales are different. Marketing is putting you in a position to create opportunities where you have the ability to offer your services to a buyer or a seller. I call that serving regardless of opportunity. Today, the consumer has changed. They no longer want to be sold a bill of goods. They don't want to be talked into anything. And so if you have a servant's heart and you show up with the tools, the training, the trade secrets, and the information to serve the consumer, money will take care of itself. So remember, sometimes serving regardless of opportunity may be as simple as educating a buyer or seller and easing their concerns to help them feel confident moving forward. So serving is instilling confidence in the hearts and the minds of the people you'd like to work with. So let's talk about marketing using shift modules. So what is shift? Oftentimes people talk about the shift in the marketplace, increased interest rates, inflation going up, class action lawsuits. All of these things combined create a market shift that puts agents and buyers and sellers in a position where they don't know whether or not they should move forward. So the first thing we do in creating a shift module is we uncover the fears and uncertainties that are in the marketplace. And we start that by keeping an objection journal. What are the reasons that people come back, buyers and sellers, of why they're not moving forward? Most of these are rooted in fear and uncertainty about the marketplace. Number two is once we understand the fear and uncertainty in the marketplace, we then think about what resources we have that we can apply to this client. And then we then use the appropriate shift module. Now I'm going to give you some of these shift modules at the end of the video. So as I talk about shift, just know that they're coming. Number three is I've always said that stories sell. Learn how to embrace the stories that are written in the shift modules because they're journeys of agents who have buyers and sellers that have similar fears and concerns that worked through those fears and concerns with tools and resources that allowed them to have confidence moving forward. We simply take a negative emotion and turn it to positive. Number four is you have to recognize that the strategies that you've used in the past are not going to work going forward, and we have to adjust our habits going forward. In the shift, we learn how to engage with prospects and clients in a new way with new dialogue that resonates with what's going on in the marketplace. Number five is using proprietary language, and this is important. You see, if everybody says the same thing to the consumer, they don't feel like they're making any progress in moving forward. But when you give your tool or system a name, the interest rate offset program, for example, the client asks, "What's that?" As you describe it, it makes sense, and you've used proprietary language to create a differentiator in the way that you're marketing. Number six is we use what's called the emotional intelligence wheel to transform. Listen to the words, to transform emotions. You see, as we employ emotional transformation communication to these shift modules, it conveys a negative emotion and turns it into positive action. The art of taking a negative emotion and turning it into a positive action involves connecting clients on an emotional level and then guiding them from hesitancy, holding back, to action moving forward with confidence. Number seven is the education empowerment. Educating is one thing, empowering is another, but as we provide our clients with knowledge and insights that they need to make informed decisions, it empowers them to move forward. Without the education, empowerment sounds like sales pitch. So the education must come first. Number eight is we build confidence and trust, and we use systems to do that and stories where people have had the same emotional concerns. They move from being fearful to being hopeful, and with with being hopeful, identified a property, and were able to move forward and get the home that they wanted. By putting real stories in context with the right languaging, it opens up confidence and trust in the clients. And then number 9 is, when you've used a shift module and you're marketing with intelligence and emotional intelligence in the marketplace, it allows you to open the communication and then have continuous follow-up where we're consistently adding value to the relationship. You don't create the life events that occur in people's lives that make people move, but you can have messaging that puts you in a position so they think of you first when those life events occur. So let me share with you some examples of like a social media campaign that we might use with some of the shift modules. I want to take the first one, which is called The River of Real Estate. The River of Real Estate's a journey about an agent who has clients that feel like they're stuck. But then we realized they couldn't move forward in selling their house because they're afraid that there's no buyers in the marketplace. So in The River of Real Estate, we discuss that the river of real estate is this ongoing flow that never stops. And that flow is the life events that occur in people's life that cause them to move. They get married, they get divorced, they would need to move up, they need to downsize, they need to move into a retirement home, they get a new job, they lose their job, they get transferred, they want to move to different schools. Those life events that occur cause people to want to move. So once you understand that the river of real estate is going to continue, we then give you a script, a dialogue, and a calculator so that you know how many people are going to move or buy or sell in your area. And then we put together a river of real estate social media marketing campaign. So for example, in Facebook, we host a weekly live session showcasing the flow analysis and success stories of recent buyers and sellers who understood that the river of real estate continues, using the hashtag @FlowWithTheMarket for engagement. On LinkedIn, we post articles discussing the current state of the real estate market with insights from the River of Real Estate Shift module. And then we engage with professionals using @RealEstateInsights as our hashtag. When we go into YouTube, just like this video, we would create a series of mini videos explaining the river of real estate, ending with Q&A that they can answer right in the Q&A section, just like we've asked you to do in this video. Weeks 4 to 6, you might use a new series of shift modules called the interest rate offset. Now, the interest rate offset module is a phenomenal module that teaches consumers that as an agent, it's your job to go in and use negotiation strategy to offset the difference in the interest rate from when they first came in the market to where the rates are today. That might be $20,000, it might be $40,000. And I never promise that I can do all of that, but I do promise that I'll do everything I can to offset as much of that difference as possible. And then we found that people move forward. So on Facebook, here's an example of how you use that as a marketing. I would share testimonials and case studies of people who have successfully offset their interest rate and what that mattered, what that meant to them in dollars and savings. And I'd use the hashtag @RateOffsetSuccess. In LinkedIn, I would publish posts explaining specific interest rate offset system, and I would target first-time home buyers and investors using our hashtag @SmartFinancing to get them engaged. On Instagram, I'd post carousel images of steps to the interest rate offset program and the benefit we'd achieve. I would encourage sharing other people how they've taken the concept to save money in their interest rate and be able to move forward in buying a house and create a community around that at #OffsetYourInterestRate. Do you see how you take a simple module and convert it into a social media strategy? You can do that with LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and all your social media channels. Each of these shift modules has a story, a tool, a resource, it has emotional intelligence, and it eliminates a specific threat that has been posted by our agents who are out there in the field selling houses. What I want you to do is I want you to open and unlock the fear and move fear and frustration into excitement and enthusiasm using emotional intelligence languaging. Incorporate the 12-week marketing campaign for social media that I'm going to give you right here, just right here at the bottom of this video. I want you to download my 12-week campaign, and I'm going to give you 2 free shift modules just because you watch this video. I'm going to give you the interest rate offset program, and I'm going to give you the river of real estate. All you have to do is decide right now that you're going to use it and you're going to engage. Are you ready to go? Because your clients are ready. They just need you to help them get unstuck.